Hi everyone, thanks so much for tuning in on this long Victoria Day weekend. Hopefully the weather is nice wherever you are across the country. What I really love about the recipe we're going to be making today, Margherita Pizza, is that you know exactly the ingredients that are going into it. So whatever sauces you're making, you can choose to use low sodium. You have the opportunity of using fresh herbs and veggies that you may be growing in your home before you transplant them out to the garden. And then the dough is also versatile as well. So I chose to use white flour just because that's my preference when it comes to pizza dough. But you have the opportunity to use any type of flour that you'd like, whether that's whole wheat or whole grain. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, please let us know. Just write in the comments below and I'll be monitoring and answering them when I can. Thanks so much and enjoy. What you'll need is a large bowl and a rubber spatula, 2 cups of bread flour, 1 cup of warm water, 1 teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of sugar, 1 package or 2 1/4 teaspoon of active dry yeast, and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. The first step is to activate the yeast. Do this by pouring the yeast into the cup of warm water, giving a little stir, and then let it sit. After 10 minutes, your yeast should be bubbly and creamy. Next step, you're going to add all the ingredients into the bowl. So starting with flour, followed by your olive oil. Add in your salt and sugar, and then pour in your yeast mixture. From here, you're going to use your rubber spatula to start, and just start combining all the ingredients. Once all ingredients are combined, you may have to start kneading the dough. This is an important step to ensure that the dough has an elastic-like texture. Once you're satisfied with the texture of the dough, put into a lightly oiled bowl and let rest for 30 minutes covered with a dishcloth. While we wait for the dough to rise, let's gather our ingredients together for our sauce. We're going to need 1 can of diced tomatoes, an onion chopped in half, 2 large garlic cloves, olive oil, and oregano. Heat up a large saucepan on medium-high heat. Once heated, add in the olive oil, followed by the remaining ingredients. Stir to combine all ingredients, then add a little bit of pepper for flavor. After 15 minutes, you'll want to begin mashing all of the ingredients together. After 45 minutes, when the sauce is completed cooking, you can add it into a blender or food processor to combine all ingredients together further. This is an optional step. After 30 minutes, you'll notice that your dough has just about doubled in size. Take it out of the oiled bowl and lay onto a floured surface, stretching out the dough, making sure to get rid of all of the air bubbles that have formed inside from the yeast. Next, using a knife, we're going to cut the dough in half so that we can have 2 medium-sized pizzas. Next, we're going to roll up the dough into circles, and again, we're going to place them into 2 separate containers. I just used Ziploc containers, and at this point, we're just going to sprinkle them with a bit of flour, cover them, and let them sit for about 10 minutes. Finally, we're now able to lay out our pizza dough to begin putting our ingredients on top. What you're going to want to do in this step is lay out the bread and begin to push on with your fingers, being careful not to poke any holes into the bread, getting rid of all of the air bubbles that have formed from the yeast. You're going to want to continue doing this until you have a good sized pizza and you have a nice crust formed along the sides. At this point, we can begin stretching the dough. Simply lift the dough up off your countertop and allow the weight of the dough to fall. What I love most about Margherita Pizza is the simplicity of ingredients. All we need is fresh mozzarella, freshly grated Parmesan, and basil. Begin by spreading your homemade tomato sauce onto your pizza. Use as much as you would like. Lay out your fresh mozzarella and basil leaves. You'll notice my basil leaves are a bit small. That's because my plant hasn't quite matured left, but will still provide great flavor. Next, sprinkle over freshly grated Parmesan cheese, followed by a drizzle of olive oil. If you're using a pizza stone on your barbecue, set your barbecue to a high temperature and slide on your pizza directly onto the pizza stone. You'll start to notice that the pizza is cooking a little bit unevenly based on the heat within the barbecue. You'll want to rotate your pizza around and then check the bottom of the pizza to make sure that it isn't burning.